Buttigieg continues his bad faith attacks on Bernie Sanders, and he claims that Sanders is taking super PAC money. But that's actually not the case at all. He's taking PAC money from progressive organizations, but the way that Pete Buttigieg is fundraising makes it appear as though Bernie Sanders is being corrupted by corporate PACs. So Buttigieg came under fire from progressives after claiming in a series of tweets Thursday evening that his rival for the 2020 Democratic presidential nomination, Senator Bernie Sanders, is being backed by 9 dark money groups and likening the Vermont senator to billionaire Michael Bloomberg. So here's what he wrote in a series of tweets, by the way, and it was his attempt at fundraising. He said, but here's the reality. With Michael Bloomberg in the race and with 9 dark money groups supporting Bernie Sanders, the goalposts have changed. Now, some of the organizations that have backed Bernie Sanders have responded, including the Sunrise Movement, which gave Pete Buttigieg a very simple message. Say our names, Pete Buttigieg, we dare you, which I particularly enjoy. Also, the 9 groups, as the Democratic Socialists of America pointed out in a tweet, are grassroots organizations powered by people of color, immigrants, youth, working class people, and democracy defenders. And here's what that tweet looked like. It was a list of all of the different groups that support Bernie Sanders, all of which support disenfranchised Americans. So what do you guys think about this? There's a lot of bad faith actors out there putting forward a lot of bad faith attacks on people who are trying to do good in the world. We would know a lot about that. So just wanted to get your thoughts on what's going on.
Right, I'm currently wondering if by organizations of color, is that what Pete Buttigieg accidentally meant by dark money? Like that time he flubbed that statement when he was referring to money of unspecified origin, which has been talked about a lot on this show, the role of money in politics. But it's funny that Pete Buttigieg says that Bernie has moved the goalposts when like Pete Buttigieg is the king of moving the goalposts. He moved the goalposts with Medicare for all, making it Medicare for all who want it. And he's moving the goalposts on dark money. He originally ran saying that he wasn't going to take this suspicious like corporate money. He at least like changed the terms versus corporate money versus super PAC money. It's all muddied now, barely means anything anymore. But like Pete has turned around on that and is taking as many corporate donors as he can. We called him Wine Cave Pete for a reason.
And it's funny because when you just were trying to explain it and you were saying money of unknown origin, I really thought you were going to say money of color. And that really had me in that moment because we know Pete Buttigieg kind of struggles between dark money and black money. But anyway.
And also struggles with black people, but yes.
Oh, very true. Yeah, that'd be it. I think that this is all kind of a reflection of that. The fact that he's not winning in what would be a fair way by addressing issues that he has with communities of color, or more or less issues they have with him, and his failure to acknowledge his problems, so to speak, and really kind of just going low in really trying to knock down Bernie as opposed to addressing the actual facts and what we have going on. And it just seems like he's almost conceding the fact that he's not doing as well by virtue of the fact that he's really just making this a nonsense statement and trying to attribute it to Bernie Sanders' campaign.
Yeah, I mean, he's ripping a page out of the neoliberal playbook. This is the way that they operate. They don't have policy proposals that are popular with the people. They don't have a message that resonates with people. He doesn't have the ability to plant the seeds for a movement that matters. And so he just has to play dirty politics and prey on the vulnerable to spread his nonsense propaganda that's easily debunkable, and that's what we're talking about right here. Now, I think that there could be a fair discussion about whether candidates should take PAC money, period, right? Whether it's a non-corporate PAC or corporate PACs. Corporate PACs certainly are much worse, considering the corruption that comes along with it, the inherent corruption. But I could argue the same when it comes to other non-corporate PACs as well. So I think that's fair game, but he's purposely coming from a place of dishonesty here, and people have called him out, and I'm grateful that that happens because far too often the truth never comes out and people get painted in an unfair way. So.
Yeah, and if I could speak, like this is yet another in a series of instances in which the Pete Buttigieg campaign has been very mistruthful. I do love to dwell on it because I will make this the hill I die on. The thing about Pete Buttigieg, he constantly claims he has black support, he doesn't. Never mind the thing I've harped on about where he faked black support in South Bend when the people of color in South Bend really don't like the way that he handled things as mayor. Never mind the Douglas plan where he lied about people's names being on it that were black who supported his plan for racial justice that neither provided racial justice or was even endorsed by those people. And even this week, he said that Keegan-Michael Key of Key and Peele fame endorsed him when all he was doing was going to a Get Out to Vote event for him. He's this desperate to show that he has support that isn't there. And it's the pattern that I wanted to point at because this is how he would govern as president. He would promise these things and then immediately turn behind your back with the same can't speak Spanish smile and just lie to the people.
Look, I know that I'm Armenian, but I get it. I'm blonde, I have light skin, so I feel weird making this comment as a white-looking woman, right? But I just hate the way race politics is discussed in the horse race. I think that it makes people feel like nothing more than objects that need to be won or obtained. And like, even well-meaning people on the left, when they're running, like whether it's congressional races or this presidential race, people are people, they have lives, they have unique experiences and worldviews. Like the way that Pete Buttigieg especially, just kind of wants to own people for his campaign or pretend like people are supporting him or endorsing him, it's gross. All of it is gross. And I hate the way that the horse race is discussed in the media by these candidates. These are people. So how about instead of pretending like certain people endorse you, why don't you actually address the very real issues that were in your own hometown, or I shouldn't say hometown, but your own small town that you were the mayor of?
No, exactly. Right? And I completely and totally appreciate the point you make because essentially you can tell when a candidate does not have good relations necessarily with a group because they essentially treat that group, number one, like it's a monolith.
Right.
But number two, like I just need to get like your head liaisons and that means you all are gonna support me as opposed to getting to know the issues that impact us on a daily basis and leaving room for us to have our own individuality and nuances as well. And it's remarkable how so many individuals want leadership positions, yet they haven't even tried to figure out what are the issues important to the people they want to lead.
And I think the Democratic Party has taken the black vote for granted over and over and over again. And so I don't think that the African American community is a monolith, and I certainly don't buy the narrative that bad faith actors like Candace Owens tries to push, right? But I do think that for the very honest critique of the Democratic Party and how they haven't actually served the unique obstacles for African Americans in America, that's legitimate. That's a legitimate critique, legitimate concern, something that should be addressed, and it shouldn't just be something to exploit for political gain during an election.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.